Alright, so we're just going to go through building area schedule, which is this part here. I'll click on the first floor plan and just show you what it looks like. So basically it's just the same as your first floor. It just has none of the detail that you need to show. So this is not a printable. You can print it, but you don't need to. This is more a view that we have just to work out what all the areas are. Yeah, just for like costings, and we also present just the size of the house to the client as well, because obviously, if a client wants a 250 square meter house, but we've just designed them a 150 square meter house, at least now we can say, hey, this is a 150 square meter house. It's got everything you want in it. Is this going to be okay? Because you said that you wanted a 250 square meter house, so it's just a good way to keep an eye on areas and stuff. So to create these lines, you just find them up in here, area boundary. Yeah. So what I'll do is click view. So the first level's done. What we'll do is we'll do the ground level. So you click in view, and you go plan views, and you click on area plan, and then this is automatic. Automatically comes up as GFA. We need to change that to building area, and then we need to click on ground level. So let's just pretend none of these lines are here. They're there because we've previously done it. I didn't actually think it would come up, but we'll just redo these. One thing, while I've got it up, so the information that we get from these plans when we do all them lines is it translates into this area of the schedule that's already pre-built. So when I click on here, I need to click on unhide all and see how this column just came up. To hide it again, you press hide there. So it's how it's highlighting that blue line. Yeah, we'll keep it up for now. So because we just deleted the ground floor, it still recognizes previous areas that we just created before, but see how it's got 0 square meters next to it? It's because it's not actually selecting anything. So for now, because we want to start fresh, I'm going to delete these. So you don't want to delete this way, because see how the blue line's going up and down, so it would delete the whole column. We want to delete the row. So anything that's got 0 square meters, delete. So deleting that one, deleting that one, and that one. Alright, so we're just left with the first floor and the balcony, which is both on the first floor. So when we're on the ground floor, we're in the area plan. You can tell the difference between the area plans as well, because see how the logo here is a little bit different compared to the background. See how they're a bit different? Yeah. So what we want to do is separate this. So we need to make this one area, all of this one area, this one area, and this one area. The reason we do that is because generically this costs a certain amount, this costs a certain amount, this costs a certain amount, and this costs a certain amount. So that's why we break ground floor up. because like you don't really want to include your garage within the house area because there's nothing in the garage. It's just a slab and plasterboard walls, so there's no finishes in there. So it's like a cheap area. So what we need to do is click in architecture and click on area boundary. I don't like using this line. I like drawing it manually. So I always click this line. And it doesn't matter what way you do it, but just start from one corner. Delete this line, sorry, hold on a sec. Start from one corner and see, it can be a little tricky. Sometimes it does. I want it to like stop there, but if it doesn't matter. Just click it and just take it close to. And what I would do is then take it from that point. And when you see when I'm really close, it doesn't actually. It goes there, but if I come out a little bit, see how it comes up with a square? That means what it will do is trim that corner. Well, it should. It does with other lines, but maybe it doesn't with these lines. That doesn't really matter too much anyway. They can overlap a little bit. It won't affect anything. By the way, I just press. If you don't want to go in architecture and try and find this line again, like how I showed you before. So yeah, I click on this line and I would just press create similar, so CS, as it's quicker. I go from this point to this point to this point to this point to this point, and then come out of that line, and then what I do is press area, and I've already created an area plan. Oh, by the way, you know how before we went in view and we created an area plan by going to here? There, you can also do it by doing this. Yeah, so there's like two ways of doing. Yeah. So anyway, we need to press this one. See how right here I can't click on anything because it doesn't have an enclosed area. Yeah. Whereas when I click it in here, now that we've created a border, I can click that. So then what you want to do is call that area ground floor. And what I would do as well is tab your way through it, so till you get to that cross. And number. I will change this number to 01. You'll understand why in a sec when it comes to the schedule. Doesn't matter that it says that. We'll change. Like, you'll understand all that when we're in the schedule. So anyway, let's just quickly finish this off. So we'll just do the same thing with the porch, and then the garage, and the alfresco. And then that same thing, I'm going to click on that. I'm going to press CS, create similar. Do that one, and that one, and that one. Again, can be found up here and by pressing this. So let's call this alfresco. Garage. And porch. Alright, so we've got all our numbers, like with the areas shown. So now that we go back into the area schedule, it's automatically in here. That is not showing up because there's two numbers as 01. So to sort that out, okay, yeah, so actually that's worth noting. Because that's not coming up, the reason for it is because there's two spaces that have the same number. So that's why it's not recognizing, it's not telling me which one is what. So for now, I'm going to change that ground floor to something that I know hasn't been done. So let's just say 100. And if I go back into the area schedule, that should come up as ground. Hold on a sec, what's going on here? Sorry. We've got al fresco, garage, porch, balcony. The two that are missing is garage, first floor and ground floor. Let's go to the first floor. Okay, that's not weird. That's weird. That should be 03. Okay, cool. Right, we've got them all back. Did that make sense? Yeah. Yeah, correct. Yeah. So every name has to have a unique number. So if there's ever a blank space, that would be the reason why. So it just means you need to go back through your plans and work out which ones are the same, and then just number it something really wild, just so that you know it's unique. And we can come back into the schedule and renumber them accordingly. So typically I want ground floor and the first floor to be like one of the first things you read, just because they're like the main elements of the house. So I want ground floor as 0, 0, or 0, 1. I want first floor as 0, 2, but because al fresco is already 0, 2, I'm going to need to move the al fresco first, because otherwise we're going to go through that same issue as what we just had before. Yeah? So I'm going to call al fresco 300 for now. I'm gonna, and then, so now I can change the first floor to 0, 2. And then I want to have garage next, porch next, balcony. I would probably prefer to have the balcony last. So I'll just make that a 0, 5. Okay. So the way that they're automatically like sorting by this column though is, see how in the schedule, so now we're going more into the schedule sort of things of like how to actually tweak the way this looks. So it's sorting and grouping. You click on here, so it sorts by number. This is, you get 3 different things. You get number, name, area. The reason you get 3 options is because when you come into fields, they're the 3 things that you get to select. So if I wanted to add comments, I would come like sort of, if you were starting a schedule from scratch, which you don't really need, you won't have to do for a little while, so that's why I don't really want to get into that. But if you wanted a comment next to each one, you would have to press this arrow and it would come over. And that just allows you then to be able to write something about it. So just going to bring that back over. Anyway, so when it comes to sorting, we want number. So we want the number being sorted. That's why it's ground floor, first floor. Whereas if it was sorted by name, then it means that al fresco would be the first one. Yeah, alphabetical order. Yeah, correct. Yeah, balcony. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So what we want is number. And filter will go into more detail with the doors and the window schedules, but you won't need it for the area. So anyway, to get this number, see the total number, that is done by pressing this, grand totals, selecting title and totals, and then you need to be in formatting, and you need to click on area, and then you need to click this drop down and calculate totals. Because if this wasn't, if this automatically, it's always on no calculation. So if I press OK, it doesn't matter, like so. And if I was to unclick this, that disappears. So if I want, because this used to always get me, I could never, sometimes I would always get really frustrated of like why this number wasn't showing up, because I always just click this and think, okay, I'm showing my grand totals, why is it not coming up? And I couldn't, like, it took me ages to work it out. But then what it was I needed to go into formatting and click on the area, and then I actually needed to calculate the total of the areas, the column. And that's what it comes up, so it adds all them numbers up. So when Blake or a builder says, or a client, sorry, says, how big is my house? You need to make sure that all of these lines are in the correct spot. So if there's ever any changes to the floor plans, we always need to double check these, make sure the areas are still the same. And then this table will be in one of the sheets somewhere, and that's how builders will estimate the house, by going off the area of it. Yeah, so that's the area schedule. Does that make sense? Yeah? Is there any parts you want to go over on it? No? Just watch it through the video. Yeah, no worries. Was there anything confusing about that though? Like, I know it will take you, I know you'll need to go through the video just to replay it and, go over it, everything, but do you reckon you'll be able to understand that? Yeah? Yeah, okay, cool. No, that's good. Alright, I'll stop recording that. So that's the area. So that's basically the schedule for the areas. That's that done. When it comes to windows and doors,